Your favorite restaurant chain might be serving its last meal and you may not even know it. Across America, iconic dining spots that once ruled weekend plans are fighting for survival. Parking lots that used to be packed now sit empty. Closed signs appear overnight. Executives scramble to cut costs while customers drift to fresher, trendier options. Rising food costs have driven menu prices beyond what many families can justify. Labor shortages mean slower service, frustrated diners, and shrinking loyalty. Younger generations? They're choosing fast casual brands with fresher menus and Instagram-worthy presentations over the dated booths their parents loved. This isn't a temporary slump. It's an extinction-level threat for some of America's most recognizable chains. Bankruptcy filings, mass closures, and collapsing sales prove the crisis is real. From seafood giants drowning in debt to diners losing their identity, these 11 household names may not survive 2025. Let's dive into the first casualty on our list, and trust me, this one's already making headlines for all the wrong reasons. Number 11. Red Lobster. Red Lobster is sinking. And it's not just struggling, it's completely underwater. This seafood empire that built its reputation on Cheddar Bay biscuits and endless shrimp promotions recently filed for bankruptcy, sending shockwaves through the casual dining world. The Chapter 11 filing wasn't just a strategic move, it was a desperate attempt to stay afloat after years of mounting losses and unsustainable business practices. The company's famous endless shrimp deal, once a customer magnet, became a financial nightmare. Analysts discovered they were losing money on every single customer who took advantage of the promotion. When your signature offer costs you $5 per person, instead of making you money, you're not running a restaurant, you're running a charity. And charities don't stay in business long. Seafood prices have exploded over the past 2 years. Lobster costs have increased by 30%, while shrimp prices fluctuate wildly based on supply chain disruptions and environmental factors. Red Lobster's entire business model depended on predictable food costs, but the ocean doesn't care about profit margins. When your main ingredients become luxury items, middle-class families stop showing up. The bankruptcy filing triggered a cascade of closures across the country. Over 100 locations shut down almost immediately, leaving employees without jobs and loyal customers without their neighborhood seafood spot. Many of these closures happened with minimal notice. One day the restaurant was open, the next day the doors were locked and the furniture was being auctioned off. Customer trust has evaporated faster than butter in a hot pan. Social media exploded with complaints about declining food quality, smaller portions, and service issues. When you're already fighting financial troubles, the last thing you need is customers posting negative reviews that go viral. But that's exactly what happened. Videos of disappointing meals and empty dining rooms spread across platforms, creating a public relations disaster. The brand tried desperate measures to generate revenue. Limited time offers, menu revamps, and partnership deals with delivery services couldn't mask the fundamental problems. When customers associate your brand with financial instability and poor experiences, marketing gimmicks won't bring them back. Trust, once lost, is nearly impossible to rebuild in the restaurant industry. Number 10. Applebee's. Moving from the depths of the ocean to the heart of suburban America, Applebee's is discovering that being good in the neighborhood isn't good enough anymore. This chain that once defined casual dining for Middle America is watching its customer base disappear, one empty table at a time. The decline started subtly: longer wait times for food, servers who seemed overwhelmed and understaffed, menu prices creeping higher while portion sizes stayed the same. But these small changes added up to a big problem. Customers began questioning whether Applebee's offered enough value to justify the cost and time investment. Younger diners, the demographic every restaurant chain desperately needs, simply aren't connecting with Applebee's concept. The sports bar atmosphere feels dated compared to modern fast casual options. The menu lacks the customization and Instagram-worthy presentation that drives social media engagement. And the sit-down service model feels slow and inefficient to consumers used to ordering from their phones. Sales numbers tell the story more clearly than any marketing campaign. Same-store sales have declined for multiple consecutive quarters. Traffic counts are down significantly from pre-pandemic levels, and they're not recovering like other restaurant categories. When fewer people are walking through your doors, every other business metric suffers. The neighborhood bar and grill concept that made Applebee's famous is being challenged from every direction. Sports bars with better technology and more engaging atmospheres. Fast casual chains offering similar flavors with faster service. Even grocery stores with expanded prepared food sections are competing for the same dinner occasion. Franchise owners are feeling the pressure most acutely. Many locations are struggling to generate enough revenue to cover rising labor costs, rent increases, and corporate fees. When your franchisees start questioning the viability of their investment, you know the foundation is cracking. Some have already walked away from their contracts, leaving corporate scrambling to find new operators or close locations entirely. Number 9, TGI Fridays. TGI Fridays built its empire on the promise that every day could feel like the weekend. But these days, fewer people are showing up to celebrate, and the party atmosphere feels more like a wake. This chain that pioneered the casual dining experience is now fighting to stay relevant in a world that's moved beyond its once revolutionary concept. The problems run deeper than just changing consumer preferences. TGI Fridays has been closing locations at an alarming rate, with over 20% of their restaurants shutting down in just the past 3 years. These aren't just underperforming locations in declining markets. Well-established restaurants in busy areas are going dark, signaling fundamental issues with the brand's appeal. Menu fatigue has set in hard. The same appetizers, entrees, and desserts that excited diners in the 80s and 90s now feel tired and predictable. Attempts to modernize with trendy ingredients and social media-friendly presentations have felt forced and inauthentic. The brand is caught between honoring its heritage and adapting to contemporary tastes, satisfying neither longtime fans nor potential new customers. Service quality has become inconsistent across locations. Customer reviews frequently mention slow service, incorrect orders, and staff who seem disengaged. In an industry where experience matters as much as food quality, these service failures are relationship killers. When customers can get similar food faster and with better service elsewhere, loyalty evaporates quickly. The restaurant's signature flair bartending and party atmosphere that once differentiated it from competitors now feels gimmicky and outdated. Younger consumers prefer authenticity over manufactured fun. They want genuine experiences, not scripted entertainment. The theatrics that made TGI Fridays special now make it seem desperate and out of touch. Corporate leadership has tried various strategies to revitalize the brand. Menu simplification, restaurant redesigns, and digital ordering initiatives have shown minimal impact on overall performance. When your core concept no longer resonates with consumers, surface-level changes won't solve the deeper problems. Number 8. Ruby Tuesdays. Ruby Tuesday's slow fade from the American dining landscape represents one of the saddest declines in casual restaurant history. This chain that once boasted over 900 locations now operates fewer than 200, and that number keeps shrinking. The brand that made salad bars cool and introduced America to diverse burger options is now barely holding on to relevance. The salad bar concept that defined Ruby Tuesday for decades became both a signature feature and an operational nightmare. Food safety regulations, rising ingredient costs, and changing consumer behavior around self-service dining made the salad bar more liability than asset. When your defining characteristic becomes a burden, reinvention becomes necessary but difficult. Brand recognition among younger consumers is practically non-existent. Ask someone under 30 about Ruby Tuesday, and you're likely to get blank stares or confusion with the Rolling Stones song. Without cultural relevance or emotional connection, restaurants become invisible in an increasingly crowded marketplace. Invisibility is a death sentence in the attention economy. The remaining locations often feel like time capsules from a different era. Outdated decor, aging equipment, and menus that haven't evolved with contemporary tastes create an experience that feels more nostalgic than appealing. Nostalgia can be powerful, but only when it's paired with quality and value that meet current expectations. Financial pressures have forced dramatic cost-cutting measures that further damage the customer experience. Reduced staff levels mean slower service and less attention to detail. Cheaper ingredients compromise food quality. Deferred maintenance creates an environment that feels neglected and uninviting. These penny-wise, pound-foolish decisions accelerate the decline they're meant to prevent. Franchise partnerships that once seemed rock solid are crumbling as operators lose faith in the brand's future. When restaurant owners who've invested their life savings start questioning whether Ruby Tuesday can survive, you know the situation is critical. Many have chosen to rebrand their locations entirely rather than continue operating under a name that no longer draws customers. Number 7. IHOP. The breakfast wars have officially begun, and IHOP is discovering that being the international house of pancakes doesn't guarantee victory. This breakfast institution that once owned weekend mornings is now fighting for relevance as competitors invade its territory with faster service, better coffee, and more convenient locations. McDonald's aggressive push into all-day breakfast fundamentally changed the competitive landscape. When customers can grab an Egg McMuffin at 2 in the afternoon without waiting for a table, the appeal of traditional breakfast dining diminishes significantly. IHOP's strength became its weakness when speed and convenience trumped the full-service breakfast experience. Rising ingredient costs hit breakfast menus particularly hard. Egg prices fluctuate wildly based on supply chain disruptions and disease outbreaks affecting poultry farms. Butter, milk, and flour costs have all increased substantially, forcing IHOP to raise prices on menu items customers expect to be affordable. When your signature pancake stack costs $15, families start looking for alternatives. The pandemic exposed another vulnerability in IHOP's business model. Their restaurants depend heavily on dine-in traffic for weekend brunch crowds and family gatherings. But consumer behavior shifted permanently toward takeout and delivery, services that don't translate well for pancakes and syrup-heavy breakfast items. Food quality suffers during transport, and the communal breakfast experience can't be replicated at home. Younger consumers increasingly prefer grab-and-go breakfast options that fit their busy lifestyles. Coffee shops offering pastries and breakfast sandwiches provide better value and convenience than sitting down for a full pancake meal. The leisurely breakfast culture that built IHOP's success feels increasingly outdated in our fast-paced world. Franchise operators are struggling with the economics of running IHOP locations. High rent costs, labor shortages, and corporate mandates for expensive renovations are squeezing profit margins to unsustainable levels. When your business model requires customers to spend significant time in your restaurant, but they prefer quick service, every aspect of your operation becomes more expensive and less efficient. Number 6. Buffalo Wild Wings. Buffalo Wild Wings promised the ultimate sports bar experience, but customers are finding less wing and more disappointment on their plates. This chain that built its reputation on massive portions and game day atmosphere is now facing backlash over shrinking portion sizes and escalating prices that no longer match the value proposition. The wing shortage crisis exposed the fragility of building an entire brand around one protein source. When chicken wing prices doubled due to supply constraints, Buffalo Wild Wings faced an impossible choice. Raise prices dramatically and anger customers, or maintain prices and watch profit margins disappear. They chose higher prices and customers responded by going elsewhere. Complaints about smaller portions have become a constant drumbeat on social media. Customers posting photos comparing current wing sizes to previous visits, documenting what they perceive as a deliberate reduction in value. These viral comparisons damage brand reputation more effectively than any negative advertising campaign could. The sports bar concept itself is under pressure from changing viewing habits. Streaming services and home entertainment systems have made watching games at home more appealing than dealing with crowded restaurants and high prices. When customers can get better views, cheaper drinks, and more comfortable seating at home, the sports bar loses its competitive advantage. Labor challenges have further degraded the Buffalo Wild Wings experience. Understaffed locations struggle to maintain service quality during busy sports seasons. Long wait times for food and drinks directly contradict the fast-paced, high-energy atmosphere the brand promises. When your core experience becomes frustrating instead of fun, customers find new places to watch their games. Management's attempts to diversify beyond wings with expanded menu options haven't resonated with the core customer base. People visit Buffalo Wild Wings for wings and sports, not for burgers and salads. Menu complexity increases operational challenges without solving the fundamental problems driving customers away. Number 5. Denny's. Denny's built its empire on being America's diner, always open and always affordable. But the 24/7 restaurant that once served as a late-night refuge for shift workers, college students, and insomniacs is discovering that being everything to everyone no longer guarantees success in today's fragmented dining landscape. The economics of maintaining round-the-clock operations have become increasingly challenging. Labor costs for overnight shifts, utilities for empty restaurants, and security concerns all eat into profitability during low-traffic hours. Many locations have quietly reduced their hours or eliminated overnight service entirely, undermining the always-open promise that defined the brand. Food quality inconsistencies plague many Denny's locations, particularly during off-peak hours when skeleton crews handle complex menu demands. Hash browns that arrive cold, eggs cooked incorrectly, and coffee that tastes like it's been sitting for hours create negative experiences that spread through online reviews. In an era where every meal gets photographed and potentially shared, poor presentation becomes a marketing liability. Price increases have pushed Denny's beyond the affordable diner category that attracted its core customers. When a basic breakfast costs $20, the value proposition that made Denny's appealing disappears. Customers expect diner prices at diners, not casual dining prices for diner-quality food and service. The demographic that traditionally supported Denny's is aging out or changing their dining habits. Late-night workers increasingly prefer fast casual options or delivery services that don't require sitting in a restaurant. College students gravitate toward brands that offer better social media experiences and more contemporary atmospheres. Maintenance and cleanliness issues at numerous locations have created a perception problem that extends beyond individual restaurants to the entire brand. When customers associate your name with outdated facilities and questionable hygiene, rebuilding trust requires massive investment and sustained effort that many struggling franchisees can't afford. Number 4, Olive Garden. Olive Garden's transformation from beloved family destination to corporate dining cautionary tale illustrates how even the most successful restaurant concepts can lose their way. The chain that convinced America that when you're here, you're family is now struggling to make customers feel welcome as costs rise and experiences become increasingly impersonal. Unlimited breadsticks and salad, once the chain's signature value proposition, have become unsustainable in the current economic environment. Food costs for these complimentary items have skyrocketed, while customers increasingly expect them as standard rather than generous extras. The very features that differentiated Olive Garden now drain profitability with every customer visit. Authenticity concerns have plagued the brand as consumers become more sophisticated about Italian cuisine. Social media regularly mocks Olive Garden's interpretation of Italian food, creating cultural backlash that resonates particularly strongly with younger diners. When your cuisine becomes a punchline, attracting new customers becomes exponentially more difficult. Menu fatigue has set in among longtime customers who've grown tired of the same pasta dishes and sauce combinations. Limited-time offers and seasonal additions haven't generated sustained interest or traffic increases. The brand seems trapped between maintaining familiar favorites and introducing innovations that might alienate existing customers. Service quality varies dramatically between locations, creating inconsistent experiences that damage overall brand perception. Some restaurants maintain the family-friendly atmosphere that built Olive Garden's reputation, while others feel rushed and impersonal. This inconsistency makes it difficult for customers to know what to expect, eroding the reliability that restaurant chains depend on. Corporate cost-cutting measures have become visible to customers through smaller portions, lower quality ingredients, and reduced service levels. When diners notice these changes, the perception of declining value accelerates customer defection to competitors who offer better experiences at similar price points. The casual dining segment that Olive Garden helped create is being squeezed from both directions. Fast casual options provide similar food quality with greater convenience, while upscale casual restaurants offer better ambiance and more sophisticated menus for only slightly higher prices. Olive Garden finds itself stuck in an increasingly narrow middle ground that satisfies fewer customers each year. Number 3, Chili's. The struggle isn't limited to breakfast and Italian chains. Chili's, once the undisputed king of sizzling fajitas and 2 for $20 deals, is watching its dominance fade as same-store sales stagnate and customers migrate to hipper alternatives. The brand that taught America to expect entertainment with their enchiladas now feels more like dinner theater nobody asked for. Menu innovation has stalled at Chili's, with new offerings feeling more like desperate attempts to chase trends rather than authentic improvements. The endless parade of limited-time burgers and seasonal cocktails creates confusion instead of excitement. Customers want consistency and quality, not a rotating cast of menu items that disappear before they can develop loyalty. The fajita sizzle that once drew eyes across dining rooms has lost its magic. What felt exciting and theatrical in the 90s now seems gimmicky and contrived. Younger diners prefer authenticity over manufactured spectacle, and Chili's theatrical presentations feel increasingly outdated. The sizzling platters that built the brand now highlight how stuck in the past it has become. Price points have crept steadily upward while perceived value has declined. The famous 2 for $20 deals now hover closer to $30 at many locations, destroying the affordability that attracted families. When your signature value proposition disappears, customers question why they should choose your restaurant over countless other options offering similar food at competitive prices. Competition from fast casual Tex-Mex chains has been particularly brutal. Chipotle, Qdoba, and newer concepts offer customizable Mexican-inspired food with faster service and fresher ingredients. The full-service experience that once justified higher prices now feels like an inconvenience when customers can build their own bowls and get out quickly. Corporate parent Brinker International has tried various strategies to revitalize the brand, from restaurant redesigns to menu overhauls, but nothing has reversed the fundamental decline in customer traffic. When your turnaround efforts consistently fail to gain traction, it signals deeper problems that surface-level changes cannot address. Number 2. Outback Steakhouse. Outback Steakhouse is discovering that recreating the Australian outback in suburban strip malls no longer captivates American diners the way it once did. The themed restaurant concept that seemed revolutionary in the 80s now feels forced and artificial, especially as customers increasingly value authenticity over theatrical dining experiences. Beef prices have devastated Outback's core menu economics. When your signature item becomes a luxury ingredient, every aspect of your business model faces pressure. The chain has been forced to raise prices significantly while simultaneously reducing portion sizes, a combination guaranteed to frustrate customers who remember when Outback delivered generous steaks at reasonable prices. The bloomin' onion phenomenon has lost its cultural relevance. What once felt like a must-try appetizer now seems excessive and outdated in an era of health-conscious dining. Social media posts about the famous appetizer are more likely to criticize its calorie content than celebrate its indulgence. When your signature item becomes a cautionary tale, brand reinvention becomes essential. Customer demographics are shifting away from Outback's target market. The suburban families who built the chain's success are dining out less frequently due to economic pressures, while younger consumers prefer more diverse cuisines and dining experiences. Steakhouses feel particularly old-fashioned to demographics that prioritize variety and customization. Service inconsistencies across locations have damaged Outback's reputation for reliable experiences. Some restaurants maintain the quality and atmosphere that built customer loyalty, while others feel rushed and impersonal. This variability makes it impossible for customers to trust that they'll receive the same experience they enjoyed at other locations. The casual steakhouse category itself is under siege from multiple directions. High-end steakhouses offer superior quality for special occasions, while fast casual options provide better value for everyday dining. Outback occupies an increasingly uncomfortable middle ground that satisfies fewer customers as alternatives multiply. Number 1. Boston Market. Boston Market's slow-motion collapse represents one of the most dramatic falls from grace in casual dining history. The rotisserie chicken chain that once promised home-style meals without the home-style effort is now limping toward irrelevance with a trail of closed locations and legal troubles behind it. Operational challenges have plagued Boston Market for years, with franchise owners filing lawsuits over everything from supply chain failures to unfair contract terms. When your business partners are taking you to court instead of opening new locations, expansion becomes impossible and existing operations suffer from management distraction and resource drain. The home meal replacement category that Boston Market pioneered has been completely overtaken by grocery store prepared food sections and meal delivery services. Supermarkets offer hot rotisserie chickens and fresh sides at lower prices with greater convenience. Customers can recreate the Boston Market experience at home for half the cost and without leaving their cars. Quality control has become a persistent problem across remaining locations. Customer complaints about dry chicken, lukewarm sides, and inconsistent preparation have become common themes in online reviews. When your core promise is home-style quality and you consistently fail to deliver, customer trust evaporates quickly and rarely returns. The fast casual revolution passed Boston Market by completely. While competitors invested in mobile ordering, delivery partnerships, and modernized service models, Boston Market remained stuck in its original cafeteria-style format. The service model that once felt efficient now seems slow and outdated compared to contemporary alternatives. Brand recognition among younger consumers is virtually non-existent. Without cultural relevance or emotional connection, Boston Market has become invisible in a crowded marketplace. The chain that once dominated mall food courts and busy intersections now operates in the shadows of more relevant competitors. Corporate instability, rising costs, and shifting consumer habits have created a perfect storm for casual dining chains. Store closures are accelerating, often without warning, leaving employees jobless and communities with empty storefronts. Each closure fuels negative publicity, erodes customer confidence, and accelerates the decline of an entire industry segment. Economic pressures aren't easing. Labor shortages drive up wages. Inflation keeps food prices high, and expensive real estate eats away at already thin margins. Raising menu prices only alienates customers further, while younger generations choose fast casual and delivery options that feel fresher, faster, and better value. The result is a vicious cycle: fewer customers, shrinking profits, and disappearing brands. The ripple effects extend beyond restaurants, affecting suppliers, landlords, local economies, and workers. From Red Lobster's bankruptcy to Applebee's empty dining rooms, the writing is on the wall. These chains aren't just struggling, they're fighting for survival. If you've got a favorite, don't wait. Tomorrow may be too late.